Hello, in this video I'd like to show you how you set up basic page navigation within ProconWeb Weidmuller's HMI Visualization software. I would suggest the first thing we need to do is define the resolution of the pictures or pages within the project. So in this example I have an IPC with a maximum screen resolution of 1280 by 800. So in the ProconWeb project we're going to have to resize the class 1 picture to the resolution 1280 by 800. We'll then create a second picture class which will be 1130 by 800, and this will be used by the project pages, so this will be displaying your text and graphical data relating to your project. We're also going to create a navigation container. The navigation container will be 150 by 800, and as you can see 150 plus 1130 gives you the 1280 maximum resolution of the screen. So the navigation container is that size, and the geometry, the start point will be x0, y0 here. We will then create a picture container. So we have a navigation container and a picture container, and the picture container will also be the same as this picture class 2, 1130 by 800 tall, and the geometry of that will be x150 and y0, so that corner will actually line up exactly with the end of that corner. That's an explanation of what we're going to achieve. The next stage is to go into ProconWeb and show that being put into action. So I now have ProconWeb open. I need to create a new project. So new project, I will call it navigation. And I'm going to use a HMI SCADA project, which basically means the project will be streamed on a PC. In fact, it will be streamed on the same PC that I'm developing the project on. I'm going to use a basic empty project. OK that. Save the last project I was working on. Yes. Give it a few minutes to create the project. OK, progress bar is completed. We can now see the navigation tree. First thing I would always recommend we do is adjust the image resolution. It will be displayed on your browser. So if you go into device configuration, go to default, which means a PC view, and if we tick scale to full screen, keep aspect ratio, that way when I do my testing on my local PC it will fill the browser window with the project to the maximum extent it can. So now we then need to go into picture class. So if you remember from the basic training I gave, then you have a class 1 picture class by default. If we open that, we can go to the dimensions, and the default dimensions are 1024 by 768. But if you remember, we said we want the resolution of the HMI to be 1280 by 800. So we change that. Within the start picture, we need to add some containers. So just to explain again about the class. The class 1 is like a template, and if I right click on start page and say show me or mark picture class, it tells me it's using the class 1 template. So for example, if I wanted to, I could click in here, I could go to picture attributes, and I could change the colour of the screen. Click in there. Let's have a subtle colour like that. OK, there's my background colour. So go into the start page, which is making use of that picture class, and now we need to add some containers. So the containers are here under Common Tools, Simple Control. So the first one we want is a navigation container. and if you remember the size from previously, it was 150 wide by 800 tall. And we OK that, and it automatically drops it at geometry 0, 0, or it should do. So if we want to just double check that, we're still in that element, container 1. Here are the properties, go to geometry, and there it is, 0, 0. Next step is to create the picture container, which will contain the graphical elements of your project. So again, we go to container, and this time we want to make it 1130 by 800 to fill the remaining area of the screen. And this time we actually want a picture container, not the navigation container. So make sure you pick picture. OK that, and you notice it's dropped that down at 0, 0 as well. So what we need to do, we're still highlighted, that is the still active element, container 2, it's highlighted. So we can go to geometry and we can say position 150 by 0. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So that's starting at 0, 0, 150 wide. That's starting at 150, and it's 1130 wide, giving the full extent of the screen. The next stage is to create some pictures that go into this container. In fact, actually we need to create a picture class first. So new picture class, and we're going to say the size is 1130 by 800, because this is going to be used to fill container 2. And then we can give it a name. We'll call it, let's just drop it initially. Okay, so there's class 2, and the dimensions, just to confirm, is 1130 by 800. So now what I need to do is create some new pictures which make use of that class. So right click in pictures, new picture, and call up class 2, and it gives you the dimensions, so that helps. I can drop that down. I would suggest we give that a label, so I'm going to go to constant text, and I will call it we need to drop it first, pull it over here, right click into it. In the instance we want to call it picture 1 or page 1. Call it page 1 because that's what most people think of, page 1. Okay, maybe make that a little bit bigger. So click into it and we can change the font. So let's make it 24. Okay. And if you notice, the background's white because the picture class 2 is white. So if I want to make a different color, I can click into class 2 again, go to picture attributes, go to background color, system colors, and let's have that color. Okay, so when I go to the start page now, the picture now, there, it's because it's using class 2 as a template for the picture. Now we want another 5 pages or 4 pages, so I'll just go save as, picture 3, save as, save as, and by doing save as, it's copying the properties of everything that's on this page. In reality, it's just the page text. So I can click onto here and I can see the properties down in this window. So I can go to display, and call that page 5. Go to that one, go into the display properties, call it page 4. Yeah, go into that one and go into the display properties and go to page 3. If I don't want to use this area to look at the properties, I can click into it here, then click into there, double click, and you get access to this area. So I can go in there and put page 2. It's personal preference. I just think it's easy to go here, click there, go to display and change as required. Okay, so I have 5 pages, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I need to do is create some navigation elements. So we go new navigation element, OK that. Now I can add some text to that, because what these are basically, these navigation elements are actually the buttons that are going to navigate around your project. So if I go to here, constant text, OK that, click into the instance of it and now give it a name. So page 1. Okay, I think we need to make the font a bit bigger, so again double click into it, go in here and maybe make it 20. Let's see what 20 looks like. There you get a preview. A little big maybe, so let's go down a size, or down to 16. Okay, and maybe centralize it a bit better. Fine, so there's that one. That's your page navigation for page 1. And using the same principles as before, we need 5 of these navigation buttons. So right click, save picture as, automatically calls it picture 8, save as 9, just repeat that process and then go into each constant text display element and change the text that's going to be displayed. Click into the text itself, display, page 3. Okay. Display, page 2. So we now have 5 picture pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what they actually are, making use of class 2. And then we've created 5 buttons that will allow me to access these pictures or pages. So we then have to go into device configuration navigation and say new navigation element, and we say I want to use that layout, default layout, and we want to use navigation button 7 to take me to page 1, and that will take me to picture, which is also picture 1. There you go, there you get a preview of it, and you can see where the button will appear. So all I got to do now is just say duplicate 5 times or 4 times, and then just change these here. And because these followed in logical order, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I just need to click on here and go 3, 4, 5, 6, nice and simple. And then here, there's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And as I'm creating them, you're seeing a preview here of what it will look like. I can change the background colour here as well if I want, because it's white at the moment. So that would be done in the picture. So we're seeing a preview here of how it's going to look. At the moment this area is white, so we might want to make that a different colour. So that is actually the navigation container. So if I want to change the colour of that, I go into Start Picture, that container, and then I can go into the background colour. And let's pick something, I don't know, let's go with that. Maybe something a bit more subtle, that one. Okay, that. There. Okay, so I think we're now at a stage where we can actually test this. We have 5 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 5 navigation buttons. And we have set up navigation here. And we get a nice preview to show exactly what it's going to look like. And if I expand that down a bit, that becomes bigger, so you can see even better view of it. Okay, so we now go to Project Environment, create the project. We now have to select a target system, so the target system being the target that we're going to download the project into, which will be this PC. So I'll go to Target System, and I can enter the name of my PC. Or I could type in its local IP, or in theory its loopback address 127.0.0.1. Hit Scan, populates there. If you look down here now, that's the target system. So if there's no target system, you can't download or go online. When you downloaded ProconWeb, if you entered a streaming password, you would then enter this here now. If you don't have a streaming password set up, you just hit OK. That's just warning you that I've already got a project downloaded into my browser. Do I want to override it? Yes. Now do I want to start streaming the project into the browser? Yes. Now I flick to my browser. And go to my PC's name, UK 115, then colon 16700, the TCP port used by the project. And there you have it. So hopefully now, if I hit page 2, we've now switched to page 2, page 3, 4, 5. And there's plenty of room to add additional pages there. That's the basics I want to cover here. I'll do another video where I'll show you how you can make these buttons look a little bit more attractive than they do here. But each time I'm pressing on the button, I am physically changing to a different page. I'm not just changing the text. It's just there's no graphical elements within the page. I've not created any. But I've got full access to every page. Okay, I hope that's been helpful to you. Look forward to showing you new videos in the future. Thank you.